Hello everybody, this is the 17th of May and this is going to be a start of a timey-wimey video on this large birch bonsai that I've been growing for a number of years. This year I decided I was going to finish building the trunk. Let me start that again. This year I decided I'd done quite a good job of building the trunk and was going to start on the branching. The tree is approximately 4 foot tall now, and the tree has thanked me by putting out a little bit of growth at the top and some growth at the bottom, and nothing really in this section, which is where I really wanted it. So yeah, thanks Mother Nature for that. I've already pinched the top out once, and I'm going to pinch the top out again, hoping that I can persuade the tree to bud further back. So let's move in and show you what I'm doing. Unfortunately the tree is so tall it's hard to get it all in at once. Okay, so if we start here at the base with the traditional drinks can for scale, as you can see I've got a lot of growth down here which I don't want. So in order to try and get the growth where I do want it, I'm going to pinch these buds away, and then we're going to pinch the top. Okay, so I pinched the top back, or chopped the top back to here rather, back in April. I'm now going to pinch it again there, hoping that that will initiate some further budding down here. I did get it to pop one bud just here, so I'm hoping that this will produce more, because obviously I'd like my branching structure in this area. It will come back in a while. Oh, a little while for you, a long while for me. So it's the 7th of June and this tall birch is still stubbornly refusing to put out a lot of growth at the top, and is still quietly shooting away down here at the base. So let's see what we can do with that. So I don't want to remove all the foliage all of the time, and obviously that would weaken the tree, but I really don't want this growth coming from the base of the tree. I want the growth coming from the top third, realistically. So I'm just removing again the foliage from the bottom here, and we'll see if we can't encourage some more growth up top. So I would really like the growth to start in sort of this area. Here's, it's okay, but it's not brilliant. We have one branch that has shot out quite a lot. I'm actually going to cut that off. Well, they say I want to cut everything off, but this branch is back budding, which is nice, but I'd like some back budding on the trunk as well. I've already cut back one shoot here and left the top to grow. I'm in two minds whether I take that again. Where I cut back, I have a strong shoot growing upwards and another one growing to the side, which I'm just going to take the tip out of. I don't think I need to put any wire because that one is growing straight upwards. I just need to keep everything crossed, I guess, that I'm eventually going to get a little bit of back budding twixt here and there. So it's the 14th of March and I've just removed this top portion that was growing out, and I was thinking about wiring it into position, and I've elected to chop it off in favour of this shorter piece that's growing straight up, so won't need any wiring upwards, and also in the hope that now I'll get some more back budding in this portion of the tree where I'm not getting any at the moment. Okay, so it's the 5th of July. I can't believe it's already July, but yep, it's the 5th of July today, and this tall birch that I'm growing is still rather stubbornly not putting out growth where I want it. Meanwhile, still happily putting out growth at the base of the tree where I don't want it. So I'm going to do a little bit more cutting back in the hope that eventually I can persuade it to bud in the areas that I want. So if we start at the top, and I'm going to work my way down, I'm going to reduce the top again and take off this top piece, and this side shoot that was going to become a branch can now become the leader. Quite a long branch here with very little interest, but a smaller branch taking its place there, so I'm going to remove that like so. Now if we move the camera down, we have this entirely congested space with pieces growing straight up and straight out, which I'm not happy with. So although it's going to be removing quite a lot of foliage, I'm hoping that that will encourage the tree to back bud furiously to replace this entire missing piece. It also brings this branch out nice and horizontally, and then I'm going to shorten that back as well. I'm going to shorten this piece out, and I'm going to take off that piece, that piece, that piece. Okay, I'm going to put a piece of wire on there. Nothing too complicated, and it won't take long before the wire cuts in of this time of year, so I'll have to keep an eye on it, obviously. But as this is still green wood, it'll bend quite easily. And there we go, the wire's not actually touching, but it's bringing that piece down quite nicely. In fact, let's bring it down a little more. There we go. I still have this kind of bold patch here, nothing on this side of the tree, which is rather annoying, but you can only hope that the tree will back bud. I know there are techniques where you can score the bark, apparently, and buds will pop, but I've never had any luck with that. I can only say I've read about that and never had experience of it being successful. Rather like air layering. I know air layering is a thing, but I've never managed to get a tree to root by doing it, even though I've attempted dozens of times. There you have it. Looking a bit denuded now, but fingers crossed, everybody. So it's the 11th of August now, and I'm going to wrap up this video today with just a little bit of work done to it. We're in the midst of a heat wave, so I don't want to do too much, but the tree is very stubbornly still not throwing out shoots on the right hand side where I want them. Still throwing out shoots at the bottom, but not up here on the right. But lots of shoots on the left. I think I'm going to have to shorten some of those back, and then I'm just going to leave the tree for this year because I'm worried I'm going to overwork it and use up all its energy that it's going to need to see it through the winter if I don't. So we'll move in a bit closer and we'll do a bit of trimmage, and then we'll call it a day for this year. Hopefully the sun's not bleaching you out too much as we move up the tree, but as you can see it's stubbornly throwing out lots of shoots at the base, which I'm going to leave, as each and every leaf will photosynthesize and help feed up and fatten up the tree for winter, as it were. As I say, this will be, take out that piece, the last trim this tree gets. Everything else now that it throws out will get left until next spring, and if we're lucky, mayhap we'll get something here. This wire is starting to cut in, so we'll move you down so you can see this piece of wire is cutting in, so we'll remove that. Best we can. Stubbornly does want to come off. There we go. So there we have it. As I say, I don't want to overwork this tree. It would be so nice if it would bud into this area. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Maybe I'll need to chop it again and regrow this point. Who knows? That's for next year. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Do the YouTube things, liking or subscribing, the commenting below. But most of all, please do take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.